Hi guys, so it's been a while since I made a video. I have been doing stuff, but I've also been on holiday to New York. It was incredible. I've been to New York before, so this time I sort of did things that I wanted to do. So rather than doing all the tourist stuff, I did a lot of really cool things and saw a lot of cool stuff. I went to this place called Bar 65, which is in the Rockefeller Center. Now you can go to the top of the rock, that's like, I don't know, 67th floor, 69th maybe. But I went to the 65th floor and had a drink in this amazing bar with views of the city all around, which was far better than paying to get to the top of the rock bit. All I had was a beer there, so it was pretty cool. Anyway, I have been working on stuff and I wanted to show you this. This is the sorry, it's not the PAM, well it is. It's the PCM2704, which is the USB DAC, so it's essentially USB speakers is what I've created, using a PAM 8403 as an amplifier. You're really high up. So you remember I was using these crappy little speakers before. I used several different kinds and I tried out different versions. So I had these ones I bought. These are apparently 8 ohm 7 watt speakers. They're not, I'm pretty sure. And a little crappy, what is this, 0.5 watt speaker. And I wasn't getting very good sound. There was a lot of clipping. The speakers just weren't coping at all with what the PAM 8403 was kicking out. So it leads me to believe that none of these speakers are what they're rated for. This one potentially, I don't know whether this is a tweeter or what, but it certainly didn't seem to be full range. So I picked up some other speakers. They're the same ones as are in my little boombox that I'm recreating in a different way. And it sounds a lot better now. So if I just play something, and it's a lot louder. Now, just turn that down. I'm gonna have to turn it down really low. The fidelity of the sound is a lot better with these speakers. I assume that's because it's a bigger driver, essentially, so it's able to kick out a lot more sound, but it sounds really good. There's still a lot of noise. Now that's because I have wires everywhere, and if I just touch some of them, you can hear a crackle. So putting it onto a perf board or designing a board is going to make it a lot more stable in terms of noise. But at the same time, I'm using really cheap capacitors with high ESR values, and they're relatively low value capacitors really. I'm just going with the bog standard stuff from the datasheet. So we're going to try and improve on that once I get around to designing the board for it. Well, that's enough of that, I think. So I'll just turn that way down. I also designed up some little stands for these speakers, so very similar to this one. This one was wrong, the bolts were in the wrong place, but I decided I needed to use the 3D printer alongside the electronics projects. Now this is some BQ filament, some grey PLA. Works really, really nicely. The print area is quite large on this section here, so it's sort of bent up a bit. It raised off the print bed. Now that has a lot to do with the temperature in my house at the time, but it also has to do with the fact that it's just a large area and PLA will peel up and stuff. So it was a bit annoying, but they still work. They just look a little bit rough and ready, that's all. I've been working on some other stuff that I wanted to tell you about. One of them is going back to basics a little bit. So a long time ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, I covered the NRF24 LO1 Plus modules. Got one right here that I set up. And I didn't cover it very well. I mean, I didn't know very much about electronics at the time or the best way to set up these little projects or even code for them. So I'm going to be covering it again. I'm going to be using some of these little Arduino Nanos, and I've got these sort of breakout boards for these NRF24 LO1 Plus modules, and it makes it a bit more breadboard friendly, but also it just means that you've got single inline pins to take power out, and it also has a regulator on there, which is quite nice. Oh, and it also does sort of voltage level shifting for your pins, so you don't have to worry about the 3.3 volt limitation. The other thing I picked up, this came from IC Station. Now this is an ESP8266 12, I believe, 12F actually, and it's a little kind of Internet of Things type development board. And what's really interesting about it, it's got an RGB LED on board, and it's got an LDR, light sensor, light dependent resistor in fact. And it's two boards in one. And so the bottom board has is it a CH340? Yeah, CH340G, and it's doing all the USB communications for you. So you don't have to worry about that on this board. And this board has a 3.3 volt regulator and a little reset switch. So you can plug it straight in and program it with the Arduino IDE, which is what I really like about it. Now I'll be covering it in a bit more detail at some point. IC Station sent this one to me for free. So before I recommend them, I've decided to order something from IC Station myself so that you know what the experience is like, so whether it's a good ordering experience or not. So I bought this very same module, even though they sent me one for free, bought the same one and a couple of other bits. And when they arrive, we'll see what they're like. And then I'll give you a little insight as to how well this device works. But I can already tell you it's very cool and I like it. Okay, well oh no, wait, I've got one more thing. I bought these recently. I've never used them before, but I'm hoping that they'll make for a little interesting project. They're motion sensors. I'm not sure what the exact term for them is, and I'm pretty sure other people have used these before. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people have used these before. I don't know how they work, so I'm going to look it up. They've got a couple of potentiometers, perhaps that's for adjusting the sensitivity. And there's a chip on there that I can't quite read. But we'll be looking into that in the future. So this is really just an update video, just so you know that I haven't completely forgotten about putting videos up, even though it has been probably a month now. I've got several 3D printing videos to go up, but I don't want to overload the channel with that. I'd like to get some electronics going again and then show you some of the 3D printing stuff, like this. This is, I'll have to turn the light off to show you properly, but it's a little wooden tree. It's printed with the Form Futura wood filament, and it's really, really nice. It's a nice filament to work with. It comes with some caveats, which I'll cover when I do a video about this. I did break my printer with wood filament, but it was my fault. I did not follow the instructions. So I'll tell you about that at a later point. But I also used some green Hatchbox PLA to create this weird shape. The idea is it's sort of like a low poly tree. It's got an LED inside of it, of course, because I like to light everything up. And so you can't really see that because it's too light in here, but it was meant to just be a little fun little project. I thought my niece or nephew might like some 3D printed trees to go along with what they play with. Anyhow, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll speak to you all very soon.